Hi, I'm Christopher Chance McTaggart, and this is why I do history. This will be broken down to a few categories of who, what, when, where, and why, and also a small visualization of showing you what I'm trying to talk about in this. So why I do history. Starting with the who. I am Christopher Chance McTaggart. In my personal life, I go by Chance, and my professional writing, I go by C. Chance McTaggart. I was born and raised and reside still in Braxton County, West Virginia, and I got my undergrad recently from Glenville State University. The what? I am a social studies teacher, and I say a social studies teacher, not a history teacher. I say that because I have some background and training in sociology, psychology, economics, geography, political science. Not a professional in any of those fields, but I have some training in all of them. And I teach 7th grade world history. This is my first professional job. I put a picture of Socrates because he was a great questioner and he was very influential in the minds that were coming up after him, which I think is a great story of an individual who was not afraid to question anything and everything. The when. The when is I graduated in Glenville May 2022. I began teaching in August of 2022. 3-month gap to settle down and then get into my professional setting. I am only 25 years old, so I'm still developing my own historical background, and the perception I have of history and social studies in general is ever changing. The where. The where is Braxton County. It is in central West Virginia. Actually, fun fact, the geographic center of our state. And this is where I want to be because this is where I'm from and this is the community I want to help grow. The why. The why I teach. First of all, I always teach because I always felt that school was a very comfortable setting to express ideas, topics, and you can, I feel like it's a true place where you can get feedback. You can't go out on the streets and get feedback from strangers because you don't know what they're talking about. And I feel like, the general public is not always the best at having those deep felt conversations with like you can in a school or educational setting. The why I teach social studies is my social studies teachers are all the ones I have the deepest connection with. They really pushed the envelope when it came to work. I like the objective and the subjective side of things. And again, that deep connection really drove me into this career path because I felt like they always put in the extra time to help make sure I was going where I wanted to go. And I put in this picture of the cliche pushing the boulder up a mountain because, again, education is never ending because there's always going to be a new, younger generation coming up, and hopefully we can guide them into the proper direction. The why of when. I am, again, only 25, so I'm still crafting that, and I'm just getting into my field. So the when does not go far back, but it is here now. So it's more of the why of now. The why of where. Again, this is the area I'm from. This is the area I want to give back to. I want to help prosper. And again, if I get this master's degree, hopefully I can go up to the high school setting, offer dual credit classes, which will give my community hopefully more educated and wanting to explore ideas. And the why I do history, which is a little bit different, but hopefully the visual representation will help you. Why I do history, because I don't view myself, like I said earlier, as a history teacher. I view myself as a social studies teacher, which is a foundational hierarchy as I see things, with history as the foundation. As many of us know, history begins with the written word. When we have documentation, we then have history we can look back on for future generations. And above history is geography. Geography, again, is above history because you can't go from geography to history because geography is the documentation of where you are or the area you are in. But you can't do that unless it is documented prior with history. Above that, I put economics. Economics is the distribution of resources, or one example is money, because that is how we help distribute resources in our civilization. Speaking of civilizations, that is what I view at the top, is civics. You talk about civics at the top because we are always talking about different civilizations, different cultures, and how they do things. Especially in social studies and the field I'm in right now, 7th grade world history, we're always examining different cultures and civilizations. Again, I view this as a hierarchy leading up to civics. With history, we get the foundation of everything. We can look back on geography, where some people were or groups were. We can look back on economics of how they distributed the resources. And then we can look at civics of looking at the past of how this civilization got to where they are, where they were, how they distributed resources. And hopefully with this understanding, we can keep civics running of civilization moving in, day out, properly documented, properly knowing where the civilization or their boundaries lie, how their, services, goods, and items are distributed, and we have a better understanding of civics. So back to the why I do history. I do history so I can create a better foundation of my entire social studies ideology. Thank you for your time.